Hello everyone, this is Ender and welcome to my VRcade, where today I'm unboxing something I think many of us have been waiting for, a facial interface replacement for the Quest 3. This is from AMVR and today I'll be unboxing it and giving you my initial impressions of what I think. So this just arrived in the mail today, and I'll be giving you my impressions as I unbox it here. If you do appreciate my review, please click that like button. It really helps my small channel grow, and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content from me. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, let's see what we have in here. So on the box here, nice, very Quest 3 looking box. And one thing I'll be looking forward to trying out is how this works with my bHaptics tactvisor and the ability to swap it out for other facial interfaces. Kind of a funny little design detail, kind of matches the 3-eye look of the new Quest 3. It has the actual interface. It has a facial pad that they describe as one is PU leather, great for working out, and one is silk cotton. So let's see what all that means. All right, something just fell out there. Let's see, first thing we have here. Okay, so this must be the ice silk cloth. They say it's a cotton face pad, assuming that's what this ice silk cloth is. I really doubt it. It does feel silk-like, but definitely artificial. I don't feel cotton here at all, and seems kind of thick. It does taper down here at the ends, which I think is nice, so we'll give that a try, but I don't think that'll be my go-to. Next, this appears to be the facial interface itself. All right, so this is the most important part. Light blocker. You can also see it's got vents here. It's also got some vents on the top. This is going to be Velcro removable. Leather, if you might call it that. This is going to be the interface that I'm going to be probably using most of the time. If I compare the thickness of the two, yeah, the cloth one does seem a little bit thicker, so this is going to be your more comfortable, non-sweaty activity one, non-workout one if you want. Does peel off pretty easily, which means I should be able to fit the tactvisor on there quickly as well. Again, here's a look at the facial interface without the cushion. I do like that it has some vents on there. Hopefully we'll see if that interferes with light leakage or not. Okay, so here's one aspect a lot of us may be curious about is, can we adjust the depth of it? And I believe I can, so I'm going to try to show this in close-up here. If I just push, you can see it does create some eye relief or space for glasses. And, you know, I pushed the top. It didn't, I'm not sure if it pushed the bottom with it or not. Okay, it didn't, which is interesting. And it just kind of has these slots that it kind of just locks into there. We've got slots on the, not really slots on the side. It looked like it at first. Really, I think those are just intended as vents. I am a little concerned about this breaking. It does seem a little thin, but I think as long as you're careful with it. So that's going to be your maximum eye relief position, right? Or more space, less field of view. You can see the little light coming through there. I think once you get used to it, how to maneuver this, you'll be okay. And it might be easier to adjust when you're wearing the Quest. I'm going to try this with the tactvisor facial interface. So I'm just going to peel off the synthetic one. And if you wanted to remove the nasal light blocker, you can do that pretty easily. It just pulls out. It's not glued into place. They even show you how to take that off in the instructions. So I like full immersion. I know some people like to peek through the nose gap, so that is an option for you as well. All right, so let's try the bHaptics facial interface here. One of my favorite accessories. So just Velcro's on with the Velcro already on here. And actually, I do notice this part here, I think is going to provide some extra forehead support. Not a ton. It's not like a halo strap in and of itself, but I think that is a nice little touch. Okay, so here you have the bHaptics tactvisor installed. It's a darn near perfect fit. I don't see any big bunching or really any light leakage at all. Yeah, I'm excited to try this out. You just Velcro this onto the Quest 3 itself. Yeah, so this is great. Super easy to do for bHaptics aficionados such as myself. Let's see how it fits with some different facial cushions attached. I'm going to go back to one of the stock interfaces first. I'm going to use what I think most of us will use, the synthetic interface or PU leather interface. So this is my Franken Quest 3. I've had the Vibe Deluxe audio strap modded to work with my Quest 1, Quest 2, and Quest 3, although I have also enjoyed the Bobo VR Halo strap with my Quest 2, so I am familiar with it. I just don't have it to try with the Quest 3 because I sold it with my Quest 2, so I'll just be testing with the Franken Quest and with the jock strap. But that should be another review with my Quest 3. Full review, stay tuned for that. Yeah, I can definitely see the light leakage here. That is disappointing, no doubt. Yeah, it is totally noticeable. I see some down here and here. I may just take some tape to these vents, but maybe I don't have it pushed in all the way. I know the thinking is they're trying to give you better cooling. I do not care for it. I can put my finger around this opening here and see light leakage or not. So maybe some tape will cover it up. Of course, you'll lose on ventilation. Yeah, not crazy about that. It does feel like it's fitting closer to my face, and let's crank it down. I'll actually boot up my Quest 3 now as well. All right, I don't notice the light leakage as much now that I have the screen turned on. Because I'm looking in mixed reality pass-through, and yeah, I don't notice the light leakage in this case. The lenses are super close to my face. Breathing normally. If I look completely down, if I look downward, I can see the tiniest bit of light leakage, but actually very little up here. Now that I've gotten this cranked down really tight, and not uncomfortably so, I can feel the lenses hitting the inner eyebrow ridge, but not like they're not pressing up against them, but I can feel not the facial interface, the lens, my prescription lenses barely hitting my eyebrow ridge. Like if I squint, no, even that's not uncomfortable. So in other words, crank down really tight with the Franken Quest 3, and with the facial pad adjusted a little bit outward, yeah, actually there's no light. Like if I look completely down, which I would never do, head straight forward, looking down completely, and even kind of stretching my nose downward a little bit, stretching down my upper lip, only then kind of get the slightest bit of light leakage down below. Now with the facial interface and the strap tightened down, only if I'm looking in the very upper right do I see a tiny bit of light leakage. So I was concerned initially about light leakage, but yeah, this wouldn't bother me at all now. At least it doesn't here in augmented reality. Let's go to completely black title screen for Dungeons of Eternity. I do notice the light leakage at the title screen where we're completely black. Once I'm at the main menu though, I notice it if I'm looking really far right or left, to the point that you also see the binocular overlap issue with the Quest 3. I'll talk more about that in my final review. But if I'm just going through, my lobby here. Okay, again, dark loading screen, entering the outpost, I noticed it. Yeah, walking through the lobby in Dungeons of Eternity, which, is one of the darkest environments in the Quest 3 standalone library. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to be noticing that much during gameplay. I mean, if you look to the right without moving your head, move your eyeballs to the right, you see it. But if you're looking forward, you know what? In a completely dark environment, I do notice a little bit of light leakage on the sides. But comfort's fantastic. It's not perfect. Do I like it over the stock interface 1,000 times? Definitely a much more noticeable field of view, but yeah, I'm very happy with this facial interface. So I'm going to go ahead and try it with the cloth one. Again, if I look down, there is a gap, a light gap, very tiny, not enough to read your phone through. So very small nose gap, which is nice. If I were to crank it down more, then that nose gap is pretty much gone. I do notice about the same light leakage in a dark environment, but not annoying. Is the field of view better? Well, I've got to crank it down more to see. Yeah, Field of view is much better than stock. Again, light leakage only noticeable if you look up really far to the left or right. Now this is the PU leather interface. Let's try the others. This is going to be the ice silk, or they say cotton, but it's very smooth and actually very comfortable nylon, but doesn't feel cotton. And that's actually probably a good thing, this not being cotton, because it's going to probably wick sweat better, but it will absorb sweat. It's definitely porous fabric. The light leakage happens through those little gaps up there and those there. So it doesn't have anything to do with the comfort as far as I can tell, the comfort adjustments. In fact, it's kind of odd. The light leakage, I feel like it's coming through here, maybe those side gaps in the facial interface, as opposed to, I thought it would come from the top here, but it really doesn't come through here at all. And I didn't notice any light leakage here because of the way the stock facial interface, this strap comes in. So I imagine with the Bobo, you might have a light leakage issue. I feel more using the same tightness on the strap. I feel more pressure. So that makes sense because it is thicker. Field of view seems, if it's smaller, it's probably so infinitesimally smaller, I can't even tell. But I'm definitely feeling more pressure up here because there's more padding up here on this ice silk. Now I'm going to try the bHaptics tactvisor. By the way, comparing thickness here with the bHaptics tactvisor. So you can kind of see it's more tapered, and this is going to be better shaped to the Quest 3 versus the tactvisor. Of course, it has motors inside, and the cushioning is fixed, unlike the previous version, the Tactdual, which I also have. The tactvisor is maybe a little thicker, but the buttons don't protrude, or the motors don't protrude into your face as much. So anyhow, let's try this guy on. Okay, so here it is with the tactvisor. It is a thicker pad. Again, this is flopping around. I know I could just use some Velcro to attach this to my Quest 2. In fact, it'll kind of stay on this strap. Not great, but there's definitely space to Velcro this down, even to I guess you could do the stock interface. I wouldn't think that's ideal, or this AMVR interface. I would do it more here, I think, or possibly here. By the way, I'm using, these are designed for the Quest Pro, but they work just great with the Quest 3. The only issue is you do have this strap attachment here, does get a little close to the menu button buckle area where there's a Quest 3 menu button. But aside from that, I don't notice it. And you can even see the strap can stay there just fine. Yeah, this is great. Absolutely works fine with the bHaptics tactvisor interface. So do I recommend the AMVR facial interface? Absolutely. It's comfortable. It gives a better field of view. There is not noticeable light leakage when you're looking forward, only when you're looking for it in the top left and right corners. And it works with my bHaptics tactvisor. The cloth, or ice silk, which I think again is synthetic but porous, is going to work well if you want a more cushioned interface. But again, I think for most of you, you'll just use the PU synthetic leather interface, and that's going to fit great, give you a lot of comfort and better field of view. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate your viewership. Please click that like button, helps my channel grow. And if you'd like to see more videos, including eventually a deep dive review of the Quest 3, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching.